If you're looking for a behind-the-scenes insight into music, you've come to the right place. Remember to subscribe to be notified of new content.
Many have said that music has healing properties. Well, in 2020, we have faced a 1 in 100 year event with the COVID-19 pandemic, and music is one element that has helped carry us through. But this pandemic has changed our life in so many ways, especially so for Australian singer-songwriters who were once accustomed to performing their music in a live setting. Join me as I unearth what goes on behind the scenes during these COVID times across the Australian music scene.
This is Behind the Music with Ellie D.
Hey, I'm Harry Foxton and I'm from Perth, Western Australia. My style of music, I guess it started out pretty quite country sort of blues-esque, but now it's formed into more of a more folky kind of indie folk, I guess, now going forward. Definitely country roots there, but yeah, I would say indie folk. I'm settling on that now. Over time, I started out as just playing music, more of a musician, just playing all kinds of music, playing drums at the back of the band, and having minimal sort of say in songwriting. But that's what always kind of interests me, and having something to say and knowing how to say it and put it down on paper and be able to perform that live and get feedback from people or your fans. I think being able to help people and share your story and get other people through similar things that you've gone through, if you can get them across the line, I think that's what I enjoy the most, and that's what pushes me to keep writing songs and doing that the best way I know how. I'm pretty realistic about music these days. I mean, I've been doing it a little while, in and out of a lot of different bands, and my expectations are still quite high. I'd love to do it as my day job, but I'm also very realistic about that happening. I have a day job, but I just do it for the love of it, and I think it's always nice to be surprised if something great comes of it. You just gotta have your head down and work hard and be surrounded by good, positive people, and hopefully the rest will just unfold in good time. For me, performing live is everything. I think for me, it's the reason why I do it, to have that electric sort of energy on stage, whether it's amongst 4 or 5 people or 40 or 50 people. I mean, there's something special about it, something really nice that soothes my soul, and hopefully it can soothe other people's souls as well. But for me it's the cream, it's the bread and butter. Creating my brand was quite simple for me, quite easy. I just stick to what I know and what I like, with the background that I sort of grew up with, wearing vintage or salvage clothes or something like that, or riding an old sort of motorcycle, an old car, is what I grew up with. I grew up on property with my parents, having that sort of thing, and I just implement that, I guess, with my music as an influence, and pushing out my brand through marketing. I mean, I've yet to release a song, and my first single is going to come out later this year, but I've just been using Instagram and Facebook and that sort of thing. Obviously, word of mouth only gets you so far, and just playing live and meeting people that way. But going forward, I'm definitely gonna get a website and get that sort of thing happening. I'm a little bit behind on on technology, but I'm getting there, and looking forward to it. Looking forward to diving deep into the marketing sector. My biggest highlight would have to be when my band Foxton Kings, a couple of years back now, we rocked up to Frankie's in Sydney on our EP tour, With Love tour, and Frankie's Pizza it's a different world. It's in its own it's in its own league, and we hadn't been there before. I hadn't played it before. We rocked up on I think it was a Thursday night, and far out. We just come from a terrible show in Queensland, and we rocked up in Sydney, and yeah, it was pumping. It was so great, and we had a really great turnout. Met some awesome people that we're still in contact with now, and played a kick-ass show, and yeah, it's definitely a highlight, definitely something to remember. Community radio has been a huge help for me personally, and also for my band Foxton Kings. But for Harry Foxton, I've been able to do a lot of live on-air songs and interviews with local, and also when we've travelled interstate, we've been able to go in and be able to plug shows and connect with other artists as well through community radio, and keeping up to date with what's going on in the music scene is very important. And it's a very important thing also for the artists to be able to connect with current artists, whether they're touring or they're local, or and just keeping everyone connected and having that positive sort of outlook on local music and on local radio. I think it's great, and big supporter of it. I always like to connect to people or connect with people at shows or after a show. We often have a lot of time sort of after gigs to sort of mingle and have a beer or a soda water, whatever you're into. But lately, obviously during COVID, there hasn't been much of that. So I have been connecting quite a bit through Instagram and doing collabs and that sort of thing. And yeah, it's kind of been nice to sort of get feedback from people that you haven't met before, or anyone who's been sort of around the music scene, or newcomers as well. It's really nice to get that feedback and support. What was the other one? The highlight fan. I've got a funny one for that. Is we were at the airport with all our gear. It was about a year ago now, and I had this young fella come up to me. He's probably 12 or 13, and wanted a photo and that sort of thing. And then he came up and had a photo with all our gear, and he was all excited. And I think he thought, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Gyroscope or something like that. But yeah, he thought felt really special for a couple of minutes. But we weren't the band he thought we were. So. And he was pretty quick to get out of there, but that's as close as it's gotten to a fan highlight. Anyway, my musical hopes for 2021, I've got some new music coming out, so keep your ears peeled. My first couple of singles to come out later this year and early next year, so I'm just going to be working hard on pushing them and hopefully, COVID permitting, gigging them and possibly touring them and just getting better at my craft, and keep connecting with people and moving forward. I believe just to work hard and be honest with yourself. That's always such a great start, because at the end of the day, you've only got yourself to hang out with and rely on, and if that doesn't if that doesn't resonate through your music, you've got to be comfortable and confident in what you're putting out there into the world, because it's a big wide world, and at the end of the day, you've got you've only got yourself and your songs to sort of fall back on and be proud of. So take your time and enjoy yourself, enjoy the ride, because it's a wild one.